Hello, beautiful souls. Dr. Caroline Carpenter back again. And it must be relationship month. I am on a relationship podcast in a few days. I believe it's the 24th or the 25th, whatever the Saturday is. And I've been really focused on the relationship journey with my husband that we have been through. We have both been each other's personal hell and personal heaven. And now we are at the place that I had always dreamed of being at. And he tells me the other night on the walk that he is so happy he finally realizes where I wanted to be the entire time. As in, he finally lined up with himself enough to show up to the relationship the way he wanted to show up and the way that I knew he could show up at a soul level. But there's some details to this, okay? First of all, free human will. No matter what your soul thinks another soul can do, there is free human will. And that is the gift and the curse of coming here on earth. The way I believe is that somewhere in the ethers, up in the universe, when we are pure positive energy, we make agreements. We sign contracts based on our astrology, all the numerology, planets, all the things. We sign contracts on what we will do and who will play what role. Now, I really wish sometimes I would have looked my contract over more in depth and read the fine print. But in any case, something in my soul, well, okay, it was one of those serendipitous things where, this is going to sound woo-woo to some people. I don't really care. I've always believed in the quantum. I've always believed in soulmates. I've always, the twin flame thing has always perplexed me, but people's opinions sometimes really muddle things. And a long story short, I knew there was one person out there for me. Now, there were a lot of people that could have worked out for me. And I knew that I was settling with every one of them. I can't explain to anyone how I knew. It never made sense to anyone. Not my family, not my sisters, not my brother-in-laws. No one understood this. My friends didn't even understand this. The one person who did understand this was the professional tarot reader that I still use because she can pick up on that kind of energy. If you would like her name, message me. But I always knew there was one person out there that would touch all the pieces of my soul and ignite all the things that just no one else's energy would. That is my current husband. But there was a lot of shit to get through to get to that place. I was literally everything he thought he needed to escape, and he was everything I thought I needed to escape from childhood. And there's a lot to this. There's filters, there's trauma, there's emotional repressed stuff, there's all sorts of things that we'll get into in other videos. We now both do the intervention work that got us to where we are now in our lives and in our relationships. Stuff can change fast. I spent decades trying to get to where we are now, and we both got to where we are now in about 2 years. It can happen even faster, but he had to become sober first. And I had to learn a lot of things that I now teach women how to navigate with themselves and partners. So I have some opinions, and I'm going to share them after my experience and working with several other women and hearing his perspective and him working with other men. I believe, and he does too, that the biggest thing interrupting getting close and intimate in a relationship, I'm not talking physically or sexually, yes, but emotionally and mentally, that lead to that close bond where it's a different experience when it does become sexual. Like the spiritual intimacy, oh my goodness. In my opinion, the biggest thing holding people back from getting that deepness and that connection and that soul fulfilling love is fear of being yourself. Sounds pretty silly, right? But here's the thing. Most women I work with, and most women who wouldn't admit this because I listen, right? We all use words. Most women and men are terrified to show up as who they truly are. I am in an amazing inner circle community with Dan Bolton, and he talks about this in Resonance, right? Ethos, pathos, logos. The know, like, and trust aspect is so difficult to get if you don't show up as who you truly are completely. Now, like, not making a journal out of your media, but this is why most people never get the following, never resonate with anyone online, or maybe even in person. Y'all, this is one of my things. It's just one of the things I'm gonna do probably forever. I know they're not great. Don't care. It's better than heroin. So, I've never tried it. I don't know. That just slipped out. So, the one thing most people are terrified to do is show up as exactly who they are. For fear of rejection, for fear of abandonment, for fear of being judged. One of those things. And it looks like imposter syndrome, anxiety, like disconnection from self, all the things. That is what was ruining our relationship, mine and my husband's marriage. And it was ruining it for me, and it was ruining it for him. And that is the single most difficult thing to develop with another human, especially if your parents never showed you how to receive that kind of love and give that kind of love and receive that kind of acceptance for self and know how to give it to someone else. So most of us were never given a secure relationship with our parents. And when that shows up in a partnership, it can be terrifying. 1, if you don't know how to maintain a secure relationship. 2, if you don't know how to be in it. And 3, someone has to go first. And here's what happens when someone goes first. When you show up and you are who you truly are, the number one fear is that the other person won't like it and will reject it in some way and will leave. Let's talk about this. That is a wonderful thing. You want the wrong person to leave. And here's what a lot of people fall into. They're terrified of being alone because they're terrified that the real person who would accept all of who they are is not out there. And that's scarcity mentality with a relationship brand on it. It's got a relationship label on it. Now, this goes for money and career and anything else. Health. You can slap any label on scarcity. Usually it's relationships, money, and health. So the number one fear keeping most people from the person they are meant to be with, that soulmate connection. Assuming you believe in that thing, I sure do. That soulmate connection, that person that is your person, your partner, your lover, your spouse, your best friend, your travel buddy, your exploration buddy, your adventure buddy, the person you want to call anytime something goes right or goes wrong. You're never going to find them if you don't show up and be who you truly freaking are. So, take a chance on being you and let the chips fall where they will. If the person is not right for you, you'll separate. Good. They needed to go to find their person for you to find your person. If you show them who you truly are and they are your person, they're going to love you even more. And most people are terrified to find out, is this really my person? And once you develop that trust with the other person who is your person, now you can be fearless in life. It's no coincidence that the most wealthy people have one hell of a partner. And they develop that partnership with trust built over time by showing up as themselves and taking a risk on being seen for who they truly are. There's a podcast on Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. The guy talks about it. He's like, the wealthiest people I know are the happiest people I know in solid marriages, partnerships. And this doesn't get press because happiness just doesn't draw eyeballs, but everybody wants it. So I love you all. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. I have a free relationship event coming up. I don't know how much longer events are going to be free. The last one, it was amazing. The feedback was, holy crap, this should be thousands of dollars. How is this free? It was like 2 years of therapy in 2 hours. It was better than my undergraduate degree, etc., etc., etc. Like this video. Follow me. I will be posting more of this. Follow me on social media. I'm Dr. Caroline Carpenter on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is my hub right now. Working on Instagram. I'm going to be posting a lot of YouTube videos, connecting it with my content. So I love you all. Please follow along on my journey. If you're wanting a community for women to rise together and connect to their power, hit me up. I've got one for you.